But you know who is out there? Greg's new favorite, uh, J.J. Taylor. And, when Greg talks about J.J. Taylor so far during this offseason of ours and the OTAs, Greg's heart tends to go aflutter a little bit. He finds himself getting a little bit warm inside thinking about J.J. Taylor and what he's seen so far. What did you see from J.J. today? And tell me why you are starting to grow infatuated with the young man.
Yeah, I thought JJ did a really nice job, not only taking some of the checkdowns and making moves. The difference in him from last year to this year, I equate to sort of Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson. Wasn't that a group? The Nelsons or what? Yeah, Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Olszewski.
Damn it.
Yeah. So Gunnar, remember we talked about from his rookie year, he looked like he was like trying out to be the Patriot mascot. And then all of a sudden he came out in year 2 and you were like,
Yep.
Holy cow, he's a man. And he played like a man last year as far as punt returner. And I see the same sort of thing with J.J. Taylor. Like, J.J. was nice and he was a little bit of a gadgety guy, but when you watched him in practice, you weren't just like, all right, this guy's dynamic or a playmaker. Now all of a sudden this year you watch him and you're just like, there's something there. He reminds me a little bit more of Damian. It was Damian Lewis that was here?
Yeah,
Dion Lewis. Dion Lewis, a little bit of him, a little bit of, James White, a little bit from a lot of diminutive sort of running backs who have been here. But he does a great job with the checkdowns. He does a great job at the second level, faking guys out. And to me, where it really stood out today, and again, no pads or anything like that, but what really intrigued me was J.J. Taylor at kickoff return. And they were trying different guys there, Duggar and a bunch of other guys. But I don't know.
I don't want Duggar as a return guy. Can we not do that? Can we not go down that road, please? I do not want
the Sanu road. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Or Edelman road. Yeah. But I like J.J. Taylor in that role. I think he's got a little something there. He's a little bit quicker this year, and he's got a burst, and he's one of those guys who will bounce off of tackles and spin around and keep going. So I'm every day, it's like the Mac Jones and J.J. Taylor love fest for me. And I guess, I wait for the linemen for the pads to come on. That's when I start to get my binkies on the offensive and defensive line. So that's got to wait a little bit. I'm not investing anybody off the underwear Olympics, but for right now, Mac Jones and J.J. Taylor have my attention. And, along with a guy like Nelson Agholor, who I think has looked tremendous since he's gotten here and is everything the Patriots have hoped he would be.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Agholor because I feel like still, if there's one player on this roster that a lot of fans will question up until they actually see that person play, it's Agholor. I think a lot of people remember they didn't watch him play, I would guess, a lot in Vegas last year, but they remember him from Philly, and they remember him as the guy that drops a lot of passes. And listen, he had a number of drops last year in Vegas. He did not get rid of that problem completely. But from what I read and from what we have talked about, you and I, he looks pretty damn good so far. And that would go a long way to help this offense, because if he is, the Vegas version of himself and maybe even a little bit better, that's a good receiver. Not a great receiver, but a good receiver. And I don't think you need a great receiver. If you have the tight ends working, and, I read that Kendrick Bourne had a couple of nice catches today. If you've got if you got some receivers out there that can make a play or two, it's really all you need with this run game and this offensive line.